Hey, what's up guys? I want to bring you a quick video on Ethereum. I want to do some technical analysis, take a in-depth look at this particular chart. So I'm just going to cover Ethereum today. I'm not going to talk about the market in general or any of the other coins we look at normally. Just want to give you guys an update on Ethereum. Kind of look at a couple of different scenarios here. The chart's setting up an interesting pattern, and it's going to be an interesting week for Ethereum because it looks like the chart's going to break up or break down here pretty soon. And so I wanted to just point that out to you guys and give you a little thought process around what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking here. So let's take a look at the broader picture first. As you all know, we were in a downtrend since about mid-June Ethereum, and it just pretty much stair-stepped all the way down, culminating in this big drop-off we had just about a week and a half ago. And Ethereum went all the way down to that 140 target. Remember, if you go back a couple weeks, and some of the low targets we were looking at was that 140 to 160 range, and sure enough, we hit that, and we didn't stay down there very long. It pretty much was about a day, is, you know, if even that, is where it kind of hung out in that low range. And then after that, we had a massive rally, and that was, let's see how big that move was. I mean, that was an incredible move up. That took us basically, it's going to be hard to read that here, that's a 92% move. So, I mean, pretty much doubled from the lows. It went up about as high as 260 on Poloniex USD before pulling in a little bit. And at that point, we were pretty much watching Ethereum go straight up on the percentage on the daily basis. There was up 20%. It was just powerful move up the bottom. Since then, the moving averages has really turned around. Things are looking bullish now. You look at Bitcoin, had that powerful day up. The thing with Ethereum versus Bitcoin, Bitcoin's pretty much at the old highs. I mean, we're at $2,700, $2,800, and Ethereum is still well off the highs here. So if you look at the old highs here, we basically knocked on the door of 400 here very briefly, but this is about where it was at. And so we have quite a ways to go if we measure the move up to the old highs from this point, which is right now, let's call it 230. It's kind of bouncing around here, but just to get to the old highs, Ethereum would have to basically go 70, 75% up. That's a big move. So 75% up in Ethereum is pretty large, especially consider the size of the market cap of this coin. And that's because it was weaker, and it had been weaker longer than Bitcoin, and just went down further on a percentage basis. But you got to factor in the big picture. Ethereum started the year in double-digit prices. I mean, we basically went from $12 all the way up to $400. So powerful move, had multiple ascending triangle setups and pauses, and just kept going. So that's why it took a bigger correction. So that being said, let's take a quick look at what we are at now. So if we zoom in, you can see this little bit of an ascending triangle forming here. And so what I'm looking at is this area where, it bounced up real quick and really sold off. This is a big reversal candle. You can see the volume really came in, but never closed above that on a 4-hour candle chart. So what I'm going to be looking at is this more recent consolidation here. And, it's kind of having a little trouble getting above this 235 to 240 area. And so that's the little area that I'm watching. And what you want to see is Ethereum start to pop above that. Now you'll notice the moving averages are finally positive here. So the blue line is the shorter 10 EMA moving average, and the purple line here is the 30. And so you can see they're both trending up, and the blue is above the 30, the longer one. So that's a good sign. You're going to want to see Ethereum hold this 30 EMA moving average. We're not going to want to see it get too far below. Here it did, but that was on the pullback. But you can see these little candles that are, they touching it and almost exactly before bouncing right off. So that's a positive sign. Another thing I'm liking here is you're seeing the volume really dry up on this consolidation. So it's getting really quiet, really tight. That's good. And so you're not seeing a whole lot of selling here. But what you want to watch is this RSI. I've noticed from an RSI perspective, it went all the way up to about 68, which is not bad. But considering that it was a 100% move, I would have liked to see it a little bit higher, to be honest with you. And right now it's kind of bouncing around. Now you'll notice my RSI settings are a little bit different. I have this band that I watch, and it goes between 40 and 60. Now the typical RSI settings, oversold is above 80 or 90 or whatever, and down below is around 30. And but what I like to see is when something is really strong, it never touches this 40, it never gets below the 40 range, and it just kind of bounces off. And when something is not as strong, this 60 range seems to be a little bit of a ceiling. And you can see that happening right now with Ethereum. So I'm going to want to watch this RSI to see if it pops above this 60, especially if we begin to move up beyond this support or this resistance level we're seeing here around the 240 mark. But to be fair, really it's just kind of consolidating. I mean, it had this big bounce off the lows, pretty much went up 80, 100% here. And now it's just kind of consolidating, and that's perfectly normal right now. After a big pop like that, you got to remember these are 4-hour charts, so this has only been a few days. All around, I'm liking Ethereum. We had this big run up. It pulled in here, and sure enough, when it was hitting this moving average, I picked some up here off the pullback, and since then it's just kind of bouncing around. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. On the lower end, what you're going to want to watch is this little triangle pattern that it's putting in here, just to not to break that consolidation pattern, because right now it's very nice and clean and symmetrical. So you're going to want to watch that to see what happens here. I think over the next couple of days we could see something interesting happen. We see if Ethereum breaks down below this trend line. If it does, that's going to be negative. We'll want to watch this support area around the 190 to 200 area. That should serve as pretty solid support. But really what I'm thinking is we might see a little pop out above here. So if we break above this 240 area, that's going to be a nice move up on Ethereum. Let's see how far we could go if we break above that. So let me pull this chart in a little bit here. So if we're looking here, I mean, really we've just got this stair stepping down. And so the next level of support, so you can see where it's at right now, it just kind of corresponded with this little area it was holding before it broke down. That's not uncommon, right? We broke support, and now it's becoming resistance. So this area had served as a pretty decent floor for a while. And when we finally broke down, we went all the way to 140. We're bouncing right into that. So the test is to get back above. If we can get back above that, I think we should see a pretty decent run, probably to the 320, maybe 360 area. That'd be a very nice move for Ethereum if we can get there. From this point up, that's, you're looking just to get to the 320, 310 area. That's a 35% move. To get to 360, you're a 55% move, which would be an extremely big move for Ethereum. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to go straight there, but if we start to stair step up, that could probably be the next targets that I'm looking at. So, that'd be here, this little area right here. And the next one would be right around here. So those are the two areas I'm watching. But again, we got to wait for that signal. I picked some off the pullback here, and so that's kind of my stops are going to be just below that. But at this point, I'm not adding any more until I see some resolve of this little pattern we're in right now. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's setting up real nice, real clean. So just keep an eye out here. What you're going to want to see too is volume come back in. So see how it's getting real quiet. If you see a move above this 240 area with volume up at these levels here, that's going to be a very bullish sign, very positive. Bitcoin looks like it's setting up pretty nice right now. So if we can see Bitcoin break out and go above 3,000, would not be surprising to see Ethereum move up above this level either. From a fundamental perspective, there's just a lot of news on Ethereum right now. You've got still a lot of ICOs. There's concern that the folks that raise money could dump Ethereum. There's hacker news. There's just so much from a headwind perspective right now. Obviously, Ethereum has competition with other platform cryptos, but long term, I still believe in the project. I think it's good. It's going to be here to stay, and near term, this is just more looking at the charts, looking at the technicals, and I'm seeing this pattern set up. And so I want to share that with you guys, and just something to point out and watch for here in the next week or so. So that's going to be it for now, guys. Until next time, take care.